Welcome to this approximately half an hour yoga session. So we're going to start today with some warm-ups. So let's begin in a tabletop position with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees roughly under your hips. And we'll start by taking some big circles, trying to move all of your major joints. So your wrists, elbows, shoulders, hips, and knees. So it's going to look a little funky. Just trying to get some movement into all of those joints. And then next time you come back to center, go the other direction. All right, and coming back to center, let's plant the hands, tuck the toes under, and come into a plank position. And we're gonna flow from plank into downward dog a couple of times. So pressing your hips back up towards the sky, walking your feet out, and then rounding the spine and coming back into a plank, engaging the core. And let's just do that a few more times. So exhaling into downward facing dog and inhaling, rounding the spine into plank and looking forward. Arching the spine, lifting the hips, downward dog. And a gentle arch in the spine to come back to plank. Moving with your own breath here. All right, the next time that you come back into plank, I'd like you to look forward and step your feet to the top of the mat. Rolling up slowly and lifting your arms up and giving yourself a nice big stretch here, reaching up towards the sky, maybe bending side to side a little bit, and let the arms go. We're going to start by doing 3 sun salutation A's, and I'd like you to not force anything here since we're still warming up, so just focus on the movement. From the top of your mat in mountain pose with your feet hip distance apart, let's inhale the arms up above the head and exhale, relax at your hips and fold. Inhale to lengthen your spine and look forward. And exhale, step both of your feet back into plank position. Now, if you want to go a little bit easier here, come down onto your knees and your chest with your hips lifted. Otherwise, you can go straight into a chaturanga. Then inhale into upward facing dog or cobra like I'm doing, leaving your thighs on the mat, and press back into downward facing dog. From here in downward facing dog, bend your knees, pedal out the feet, lift the hips up towards the sky. And on your next inhale, look forward and step or jump your feet to the top of the mat. Lengthen your spine forward and exhale, relax at your hips to fold. Inhale, come back up to standing and release the arms. Let's do that again. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling, relaxing at the hips, fold. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale back into plank, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Take 5 really nice deep inhales here. Deep breaths. Focusing on filling your lungs with air and letting it all out, maybe with a sigh. On your next inhale, look forward, step or jump your feet to the top of the mat, lengthen your spine, and exhale to fold. Inhale, come back up to standing, and we'll do that one more time. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling, relaxing at the hips to fold. Lengthen the spine, look forward, and exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog and exhaling downward facing dog. Again, a few deep breaths here, lengthening the inner heels down to the ground, pressing through the knuckles, letting your shoulder blades slide up your back, away from your ears. And on your next inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat, half standing. Exhale to fold, and inhale to Samastitihi. All right, we're going to continue with Sun Salutation B with some add-ons here. So first, I'd like you to bend your knees, come into a chair, inhale your arms up above your head. In chair, think about getting your hips parallel to the floor, really engaging your core, and exhale, relax to fold. Inhale into half standing, and exhale into chaturanga or modification. Inhale into upward dog or modification as always, and exhale, press back into downward dog. From here, ground the left heel, bringing the right foot forward. Bring your arms up into warrior one. Take a nice deep inhale here and exhale, meet me in plank position. Look forward in plank, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward dog. This time, step your right foot forward, left heel down, inhale the arms up. And exhale, come back to plank. Now from plank position, I'd like you to bend your right knee and, oh my goodness, that was loud. And bring it in towards your chest, engaging your abs to hold your knee in the air for 3, 2, 1. And now press back into a three-legged dog, bringing your foot up towards the sky, keeping your hips square here. And if Wild Thing or Flip Dog is in your practice, I'd like you to take that now. Really inhaling the chest up towards the sky. And exhaling, coming back into three-legged dog. From here, I'd like you to bend your knee, step the right foot forward, come up into warrior one, and exhale the arms apart into warrior two. From here, inhaling the right arm up into peaceful warrior with the left arm on the left leg. And exhale into side angle with the right elbow on top of the right knee, or your right hand grounded next to the right foot. From here, spin your hands down to the ground, heel toe your right foot to the right edge of the mat, coming into a lizard position. From here, I'd like you to take a hip opening chaturanga by bending your elbows and bringing your chest halfway to the ground. Inhale to straighten the arms, come up. And exhale one more time, maybe bringing your chin all the way to the ground or a little bit closer. Inhale, back into lizard. And exhale, step back into plank, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to do that same thing, starting by coming into plank, bending the left knee, and holding the knee covered above the ground for 3, 2, 1. Now press back, sending your left foot above your head into three-legged, sorry, not above your head, up to the sky, into three-legged dog. And stay here, or if Wild Thing is within your practice, come into that on the other side. Inhaling to lift the chest and the hips towards the sky. And exhaling, coming back into three-legged dog. From here, inhale your left foot forward, coming up into warrior one, this time with your left foot in front. And exhale, opening the hips and the arms into warrior two. From here, inhale your left arm back into peaceful warrior. And exhale into side angle, either with your elbow on your knee or your left hand inside your left foot. Then we'll spin the right hand down, grounding both palms and heel toe the left foot to the left edge of the mat. Here we'll take another hip opening chaturanga by looking forward and bending the elbows, bringing the chest halfway down to the ground. Inhale to come back up to lizard, and exhale one more time, trying to bring your chin a little bit closer to the mat. Inhale back to plank position, and exhale, step back into plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a child's pose here and take a little rest. Letting your arms rest next to the sides of your body. On your next inhale, come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under and press up into a downward facing dog. From this downward dog, look forward. Step or jump your feet to the top of the mat. Extend your spine. Exhale to fold. And from your forward fold, I'd like you to actually heel toe your feet a little bit wider apart. So they're just a little bit wider than hip distance. And from here, if you're able to, take your two peace fingers and hold the big toes. If this is not something that you're feeling today, you can always just stay wherever your body takes you in a forward fold, whether that's here or maybe just with your fingertips on the mat, thinking about lengthening your spine, especially your lower back, and looking forward to open those hamstrings. If you'd like to join me, take your two big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale to lengthen forward. And exhale to bend at your elbows, bringing your chest closer to your thighs to come into a forward fold. On every inhale, you can think about lengthening your sit bones up towards the sky. And on every exhale, relaxing that any tension that you might be holding in your hips, in the backs of the legs. From here, let's inhale into the half position, lengthening your spine forward. And if you can go a little bit deeper, you can either stay where you are or place your palms underneath your feet with the tops of your hands on the ground. And exhale into this forward fold variation. Again, always folding from the hips, lifting up out of your sit bones while grounding through your feet. All right, release the hands here. And I'd like you to bend your knees and come back into a chair position here. holding this chair, trying to get your hips lower towards the ground. And exhale, come back to standing. I'd like you to now come to the middle of your mat so that you're facing the long side of your mat. And inhale, step or jump your feet apart and your arms apart. Slightly pigeon toe your feet in towards one another. Turn the palms up. And inhale to look up towards the sky. And exhale to fold from your hips, letting your hands come towards the mat, maybe on blocks, or if you can reach the floor, then walk your hands back towards your feet so that they're in line with your feet here. Let's come back up to the half position and place your hands on your hips. From here, I'd like you to fold again, but you can use your hands to feel your hips actually being where the fold is initiated from. So if you feel yourself folding and it's all coming from your lower back, think about instead staying up a little bit higher and using your hands to really feel your hips being that hinge. And if you are able to fold a little bit deeper, think about bringing your elbows towards one another, pointing up or pointing forward. Let's inhale here again, coming back to the half position, and clasp your hands behind your back, straightening your elbows any amount, and come back down into a forward fold with this arm variation, letting the thumb sides of your wrist, thumb sides or pinky sides? I can't tell. Letting your fingers drop towards the mat. Release the arms here. Press back into the half position. And then we're going to go into a skandasana. So this is a bit of a deeper pose. If your hips are a little bit tight here, just take it easy and have a block nearby so that you can have a little bit more stability. So we're going to start by bending into the right knee. And if you're here and you're just working on opening the inner thighs, that's really great. You can even put a block maybe behind you if you're a little bit closer to the ground. Or you could also come into the full position, dropping your hips and coming into namaste with your palms. If you'd like another arm variation, you can also bind here by bringing the right elbow around the right knee and clasping your hands together behind your back. Just be very careful here if you have any knee issues. On your next exhale, let's release, press back into center, and we'll come into skandasana on the other side, bending into the left knee here. So it's a little bit tighter for me. And again, if you'd like to add the arm variation, binding around that left bent knee. All right, on your next exhale, press back into center and we'll heel toe the feet together. And slowly come back up to standing. We're going to continue working into the legs here. So I'd like you to first start by placing your hands on your hips or having a wall nearby to add some stability, since this is a balancing pose. Taking the weight into your left foot start by gently swinging the right leg back and forth. And on your next inhale, engage the core to bring the leg up, bending the knee if you need to, and holding either the big toe or the knee in front of you. If you do hold the big toe, think about dropping your right hip down, relaxing the right hip. And if that means that your knee needs to be bent, that's totally fine. So if you are in this position, I'd like you to slowly start opening your leg towards the right, bringing the knee out to your right side. And same thing if you're holding on to your big toe. I'd like you to start bringing that leg out towards your right, bending into the elbow to keep the leg steady. Exhaling, coming back to center. And release the toe, but hold your leg in the air for 3, 2, as high as you can. 1.5, 1, 0. Good job. Okay, we're going to do that on the other side. So coming into putting the weight in your right foot this time. Start to swing the left foot back and forth, the left leg, opening up the hip. And on an inhale, grab your left toe or hold on to your left knee. If you do hold on to that left toe, again, think about relaxing your left hip down and bringing your elbow out towards the side, lifting the chest. And on your exhale, start to bring your leg out towards your left. And exhaling back to center, letting go of the toe, but keeping the leg in the air for 3, 2, engage your core, 1. Nice job. Okay, we're going to do a few more poses. I know we started a little bit after, so I'm going to go just a little bit longer. Let's come into a standing half lotus. So if you know that you have half lotus, which is this right here with your foot, bringing your foot towards your belly button and letting your knee relax down, you can come into this position. However, if that's not attainable for you today, I'd like you to come into a standing pigeon pose by placing your right ankle on top of your left knee and bending your hips back behind you. And if this is sort of uncomfortable, you can also take this same position but lying with your back on the mat. So it's totally your choice. So if you'd like to come into the standing half lotus, I'd like you to do that now. You can see if you'd like to add a bind here, you can bring the right arm around behind you and try to clasp onto your toes, or just hold the left arm. And from here, if you're in the half lotus position, I'd like you to release your hands and start to fold towards the mat. Maybe letting your fingertips rest on the floor or your wrists. And on your next inhale, slowly come back up to standing and release your right leg. Shake it out a little bit. If you're in standing pigeon, come back to standing. If you're in reclined pigeon, then start to switch to the other side. And we're gonna come into half lotus again by bending the left knee, placing the heel as close as you can towards the belly button, and then letting the left knee drop towards the floor. And here, test out this side too. Like maybe sometimes our left shoulder is more open. Maybe you can bind. If not, Then you can just hold on to your foot anywhere you can or your right arm. Lifting your chest up to the sky and releasing your hands and folding at the hips, coming into a one-legged forward fold here. On your next inhale, slowly roll back up to standing and release your left leg. All right, let's come back down to the mat, just into a comfortable seated position. And we're gonna recline onto our backs, coming into a bridge pose. So with your feet firmly planted on the mat, engage your glutes to lift your hips up towards the sky, shimmy your shoulders in towards one another, and either grab the sides of your mat for some added stability here, or clasp your hands underneath your back, coming into bridge position. From here, I'd really like you to think about engaging the glutes, sending your hips up towards the sky. Now, if you'd like to come into shoulder stand, I'll walk you through that in a moment. But if you're feeling like you'd like to do a modified shoulder stand, you can place a block right underneath your sacrum here, and then lift your legs up towards the sky so that you're completely supported by the brick and you're letting your legs be straight up towards the sky. But if you'd like to come into full shoulder stand, let your hips drop into your hands, and then straightening the legs. And on your next inhale, in one movement, lift your legs, your hips up towards the sky and support your lower back with your hands. Bringing your legs in line with your hips, pressing into your elbows. And if you're in a full shoulder stand, start to exhale your legs behind you, coming into plow pose or halasana, with your still supporting your lower back here. Or if you feel really steady in halasana, you can also interlace your fingers and stretch your arms out onto the mat as well. From here, start to engage the core and slowly, slowly as possible, bring your hips back down to the mat. Letting your legs be straight in front of you. And finally, let's place the palms underneath the hips. Shimmy your elbows underneath you and press into your elbows to lift your head and your upper back, ever so gently resting the crown of your head on the mat, coming into fish pose. And exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest, come down onto your back, release your hands, and we'll finish with a quick but well-deserved Shavasana. If you're feeling your lower back here, bend the knees. Take your feet out to the edges of the mat and let the knees drop in towards one another. Woo, the lights came on. All right, on that note, come into a fetal position, rolling to the side, and press down to come back into a comfortable seated position in the center of your mat. And we'll just take one deep breath together, inhaling the arms up above your head and placing your palms together at your heart, bowing down towards your heart. Namaste.